Let me just say Gen V Season 2 doesn't want to be your comfort show anymore. No more awkward frat jokes. No more campus laughs with blood-stained edges. This season is brewing into an actual civil war on campus, and Episode 4. It's not going to solve tensions. It's going to blow them wide open. Picture this, the Guardians of Godolkin, the supposed protectors, the campus champions, the 8 team. United strong. Unbreakable, right? The truth, they're already splitting apart before the war even begins. Cate walking one way, Jordan Torp doing their own rank, Marie caught in Cypher's sticky web of mentorship and manipulation. And here's the kicker. The Guardians might not be breaking by mistake. The division isn't their weakness. Division may be exactly what was always intended. Ask yourself this if you were VA, or worse, Dean Cipher. Would you really want one united group you couldn't control? Or would you break them into pieces, play those pieces against each other, and crown yourself as the one puppet master in charge? Exactly. This is chess disguised as chaos. Honestly, watching Jordan storm the stage at Thomas Godolkin Day was like watching someone at a wedding rip the mic out of the best man's hand to scream, "Surprise! The groom is cheating." Was it brave? Yes. Iconic? 100%. Smart? Oh, tragically no. I mean, I get it. You're standing in front of the entire student body, the cameras are on, your blood is boiling, and you expose VA's hand in the attack on Cate. Huge moment. The truth finally in the open. But what's the reward? Isolation. Your rank tumbles, and Cipher doesn't forget. So Jordan's truth bomb probably wasn't just a reveal, it was their resignation letter. But here's where it gets sinister. If Cipher is really behind the manipulation, doesn't Jordan's outburst just make his job easier? Think about it now, the Guardians are fractured. Marie will play the long game. Jordan already played the short one. Emma and Sam are crushed with guilt and grief. And Cipher? He just gets to sit back and handpick his little apprentices. So who really won in that moment? Jordan or Cipher? Or worse, Project Odessa? Here's the problem no one wants to admit. Cipher's not playing mentor. Cipher is playing God. His whispers about potential greater than Homelander. That's not encouragement. That's intentional inflation. Ego steroids for Marie. And no matter how much we want to cheer for Marie, here's the ugly angle: ego builds empires, and Vought loves nothing more than to crown an umpire child. Marie thinks she's being taught to master her gift. What if she's really being groomed into becoming the weapon VA has been fine-tuning for decades? Because don't forget, Marie wasn't just a survivor. She was the survivor. Out of every Odessa subject, she's the only one who lived. And the one thing science adores more than a lab rat: a repeatable result. And I need to stop right here to tell you, this rabbit hole goes deeper than you think. We don't just get Cipher, Marie's shift, and Jordan's rebellion in Episode 4. There's an entire hidden layer connecting Marie's missing sister, Cipher's vault, and the word Odessa written in lab notes stained with blood decades ago. So before we peel back the vault door, subscribe right now. Because missing the reveal about the forbidden knowledge of Odessa is like walking away seconds before Homelander lasers the truth into focus. This is the one story you cannot skip. Cipher's grip on Marie. Listen. Cipher obsession tracking Marie is probably the biggest red flag in the show right now. If you've been paying attention since Episode 1 of this season, the camera keeps pausing on him, right? The peanut butter shake building, awkward, speaking creepy academia, grandpa vibe. That guy isn't just a dean, he's a spider. And Marie's the fly. He's clocked that she's not just powerful. She's Odessa's only proof of concept. And if you've ever worked with people obsessed with optimization, you know exactly where this is headed. They won't stop at making you strong. They'll keep going until you're inhuman. Cipher's programming her now with flattery. By Episode 4 and beyond, he'll escalate. He'll turn her potential into obsession. And sooner rather than later, Marie's friends won't even recognize her. They'll see a Vought weapon with blood in her eyes. That's why the Guardian's splinter is unstoppable. Jordan shouted their truth. Marie thinks she's playing chess, but Cipher's engineered the board. Emma, distracted, traumatized. Sam, broken.
Alone?
Boiling with rage. And losing her self-identity every time she looks in the mirror. The Guardians think they're fractured because of circumstance. They're fractured because that's how you forge weapons. You don't let the kids outsmart the system. You divide them, test them, weaponize them. And the problem is, it's working. But wait. What if Marie's loyalty war isn't even the point? What if every step Cipher pushes her toward is just bait? Because he's holding the ace up his sleeve the whole time. I'm talking about Annabeth. Marie's elusive sister. Is she alive? Is she missing? Is she in with Aunt Pam? Is she something worse entirely? Question mark in her life. Because tell me this, how convenient is it that Marie's Odessa past resurfaces in the exact same season she's actively hunting her sister? Too convenient. Way too convenient. And here's the theory that keeps me up at night: Annabeth isn't missing. Annabeth is a bargaining chip. And the vault cipher keeps locked tighter than Vaught's PR spin. Don't be surprised if it rattles with her heartbeat. So here's where things are tracking for episode 40. The Guardians will divide further. Sefer will slide his claws deeper into Marie. Jordan will be punished for daring to scream truth onstage. And Annabeth, we're going to get breadcrumbs about her fate. But the shock. The breadcrumbs won't lead out. They'll lead in. Inside Sefer's vault. Inside Project Odessa. Into the forbidden territory where we'll finally confront what weaponization really means. Because here's the forbidden knowledge we all secretly suspect. Odessa was never about survival and never about science. It was about empire building. And Marie's sister might be the missing piece. Alright, so we've cracked open the fracture inside the Guardians in page 1. And now we stand at the darkest unanswered question. Where is Annabeth? Marie's entire moral compass this season is pointed in that direction. She doesn't really care about cipher, rankings, or Vaught's PR blitz. She cares about family. And her missing sister is both her anchor and her biggest vulnerability. Vaught took her. Here's the first possibility. And it's as obvious as it is sinister. Vaught already has Annabeth. Think about it. Marie is the only surviving success of Project Odessa. That means she's the crown jewel. The one that worked. So what does a corporation do when it accidentally stumbles onto success with some volatile formula? They try to replicate it. Who better than someone with the exact same DNA sequence, the same bloodline, the same soup-coated potential as Mary? That's Annabeth. And notice the timing. Marie returns to school. Sefer whispers that, "You're special." Odessa gets name dropped again for the first time in decades, and in the same window, her sister just happens to be unaccounted for. Coincidence? In Vaught's hands, coincidence doesn't exist. So here's where I pull you in. Drop your comment right now. If you had to pick one, A. Annabeth's been taken quietly by Vaught to serve as the next guinea pig in Odessa. B. Annabeth's been hidden away by Cypher in a more personal vault. One that's less corporate experiment, more, do exactly as I say or I tighten the leash. Which way are you leaning? Because honestly, option A is terrifying, but option B is bone-chilling. Let's linger on that darker possibility. Cypher ain't just obsessed with Marie. His weird fixation, the stares, the way his words drip like someone measuring every syllable. They all scream, collector. What if Annabeth is literally under his roof? What if that so-called off-limits vault isn't just stacked with files and artifacts, but instead it's a prison? Imagine Marie marching into his office demanding answers, and the trump card he throws isn't violence. It's her sister. Locked away. Bargained like a pawn. Follow my orders, Marie. Unlock your full potential. Or never see Annabeth again. That's not a theory that breaks the Guardians. That's a theory that shatters Marie. Hypothetical thought exercise. Now let's travel into your own shoes for a second. Imagine you're 19. You discover your sibling is in a prison under your school, held by a manipulative dean whose big idea of motivation is peanut butter and lies. Do you slam the alarm, risk their life, and go public? Or do you play Cypher's game? Let him twist you, mold you, hurt you, just to keep your sibling's heart still beating one more day. And if you just flinched at that choice, good. Because that is how Cypher ensures total control. Listen, I'm going to be very real. I wouldn't even make it 5 minutes into Cypher's game of manipulation if he said, "Obey or lose your sister." I'd panic, spoil everything, and probably break down crying in front of a locked vault door. Marie, she's tougher than me, no question. But being tougher doesn't make the game less stacked against her. Now let's rip past the family drama and talk about the scarier backdrop Project Odessa itself. We know it started in the 1960s. Scientists dosing themselves with unstable compound V, horrific transformations, bodies collapsing in minutes. They weren't creating heroes. They were sharpening a knife. And doesn't that make sense why Cypher looks at Marie and whispers, "You could be stronger than Homelander." Because they weren't engineering random soups. They were refining a weapon.